Hey everyone, welcome back to another D-French music lesson. Over the years I've taught a lot of new guitar students who are incredibly motivated to play the instrument but struggle with setting up a consistent practice routine. And this is a struggle, especially for the younger students, to overcome. I always explain it's important to break their practice into 3 parts: warm-up, review, and new material. Generally I encourage them to set aside 30 minutes each day to this routine. But what I found is they want to skip the first 2 parts and jump right into new material, which leaves them frustrated and limits their practice time to 10 minutes. I tell them they need to devote the first 10 minutes just to warming up their fingers. That way by the time they get into part 3, new material, their fingers are loose and able to achieve competency over the lesson. So today I'm going to look at 3 warm-up exercises I use personally and teach to my students. Okay, let's get started. But before we do, push that subscribe button, like, and leave a comment if you found this video useful. First one we're going to look at is a chromatic scale, which means we're going to play 12 semitones between octaves. And we're going to start here on the high E string. And we're going to work our way up to the E on the 12th fret. That's 1 octave. And in between, we're going to play every fret, which is a semitone. And we're going to use also alternate picking with our right hand, which means we're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. We're going to go down on the open E string, up, down, keep your fingers on the fretboard, up, down. Then you're going to slide your hand forward to the 5th fret, up, down, up, down, slide up to the 9th fret, up, down, down. Okay, let's look at that again. We're going to start with the open, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And just take it nice and slow in the beginning, just to get your fingers warmed up. Eventually we'll start picking up the tempo and we'll use a metronome. So once we get to that 12th fret, then we're going to do it descending, going back to that open 1st string. So we're going to start again on the open E, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And if you're doing the alternate picking correctly, you should be ending on a down and ending here on a down. Okay, let's look at that again, going ascending and descending. So down, up, 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 down. Okay, so just start off with that first E string and just work your way up and down. Once you feel comfortable with the technique, let's move it on to the 2nd string or the B string. We're going to do the same thing. Once we feel good with that, let's move on to the 3rd string or the G. Okay, then we're going to move on to the D string or the 4th string. Fifth string. And then to the 6th string. get that technique down, and you can start picking up the tempo. So we'll start again on a high E string. And then work your way back and forth, up and down the strings. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to modify this exercise, and we're going to go up and back, and we're going to work our way up to that 12th fret again. So we're going to start on the open E string. When you feel comfortable with the E string, then we're going to move on to the B string, do the same thing. Feel comfortable with that, we'll move on to the third string, which is your G string. Same exact pattern, just move it up and down the strings as you feel comfortable. So the third exercise we're going to look at is a moving thirds exercise. We're going to start on the 6th string, and we're going to alternate between the string above it. So 6, and we're going to start with our 4th finger here on the 4th fret. Your 3rd finger is going to be here on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Your 2nd finger's on the 2nd fret of the 6th string, and then your 1st finger's on the 1st fret of the 5th string. And you're just going to go back and forth, again using the alternate picking. Try to keep your fingers in position while you're doing it. Once you get comfortable with this, move up to the next 2 strings. Next. Next. And next. So now we're going to put it all together. We're going to start on the 6th string and end up on the 1st string. So we're going to just keep alternating strings as we go through the exercise. And then when you get comfortable with that, what we're going to do is we're going to move forward a fret and then do a descending. So we're going to work our way up, starting on the 4th fret. first 3 exercises to do, and you take about 10 minutes to work on them, slowly picking up the tempo as you do it. Don't start picking up the tempo until you've got the technique down. One thing I like to encourage my students to use is a metronome. Okay, so we're going to start off with our metronome at 100 beats per minute, and that can be your quarter note beat, so each note can get this tempo. And it's more important to start off slow and be accurate than to have speed. Okay, so if we're going to play with the metronome, it's going to sound like this. And then what you can do is you can start double timing it. You can start, instead of playing quarter notes, you can do eighth notes in between each beat. And then you can do the other exercise the same way. Use quarter notes up first and then go into eighth notes. And then you can work your way up, and then we can move into eighth notes. Okay, so when you're using a metronome, it's really important to get the technique down first, because the metronome is going to really push you, but it's also going to make you panic, and you got to kind of split your focus between your playing and your hearing. So I always encourage students to get the technique down first, and then once they feel like they got that technique down, then start challenging themselves with the metronome. As you get a little bit better, as you get a little more confident, start picking up that tempo. Go from 100 beats per minute to 105. 105 to 110, or whatever increment you feel comfortable with. Okay, I hope you found this lesson useful. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, and look forward to more videos.